tell us about the documentation of our humanity and human experience. And it seems like for us, one of our tasks is to learn how to transcend that propensity and remain human. As kind of an introductory story of my own regarding this theme. How many of you have seen the movie Blade Runner? It didn't do well at the box office at first. It has become almost a cult classic, and some would regard as a great movie. It took a while. I tried to watch it twice, and it could be just happenstance, but Professor Leffler, each time I try, I get sick. I got sick twice. You know, the pearl hurl thing. And I think part of it is that it's probably something deeply rooted in me. There's grief related to our even subtle succumbing to the machine and becoming a machine when we don't recognize the humanity and its needs and its offering and its invitation around us. When we are not, shall I say, neck deep in gratitude for human encounter. I'm going to talk about that a little bit because I see certain habits in our 21st century. Isn't it great to be alive, Western culture? That I want to make sure that our comm natures are sensitive. I'm going to give you a little preface. The great missionary to the Orchid Indians, Jim Elliot, said this: wherever you are, be all there. What are some of the communication technologies that we hide behind that prevent us from being all? So chat about it a little bit. First we have, I know my colleague, my co-chair, our co-chair, the wonderful Professor Jory Shelby. Let's give her a hand.
All right. Happy new semester. I just want to encourage our upperclassmen to reach out to the freshmen and let them know just how cool we actually are and make that your mission for the semester. I also just wanted to make sure that you all knew who I was, and I want you to know that I live at the top of the stairs in a cell. It's painted lime green, can't really miss it, and I call it a cell because it's like cell block, really, seriously. It's cinder block. So anyway, if you ever need me, or there's anything I can help you with, I'm very accessible right at the top of the stairs. I also have 4 incredibly amazing loyal lab assistants who work in the little outer office just outside my office, and they'll be happy to help you as well. I have a couple of really exciting announcements, and they're a little bit different probably from what Dr. Patton is going to talk about, and I'm going to move rather quickly through them because I have to leave early today. The first thing I wanted you to know about is this little independent film called Love is Blind. And actually, it isn't little, it's a feature film, and it's being shot partially on campus and then in the greater Spring Arbor, Jackson area. It should be of interest to you because it's directed, written, and produced by an alum who graduated last year, Joe Faldersack. Some of you will know him. Joe spent the last semester of his senior year at Los Angeles Film Studies Center, and while he was there and over the summer, wrote a script. You've probably read on the screen about the plot. He launched a Kickstarter campaign and raised $15,000 to fund this film, so it's legit. He is actually paying actors who are coming from all over the state as well as our campus, paying a couple of crew people. We have students from our department who are also crewing on this film. It will be shot through the semester, and then we will have a preview or a screening of it at the Michigan Theater in downtown Jackson, probably in the spring, right around graduation time. So that is announcement number 1. Announcement number 2 is that Joe was a very active member of our short film class that meets on Wednesday nights upstairs just down the hall from my office. And we meet from 6:30 to 9:30, shoot a couple of short films every semester, and do some shooting on weekends. So there's still room in that class, and if you would like to join us, whether you are a video film major, broadcasting major, or not, that opportunity is open to you. Next thing, we really want to connect with you. And we want to keep in touch not only while you're here, but after you leave. So we are creating a database and have created some Let's Connect cards, which I'll pass out. On the back of the card, there's a place for you to put your name and your cell phone number, or at least the number of the phone that you answer, and your home address, so that long term we have something concrete and tangible to reach out to. And then there's also a place where you can put your information on your own Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Okay, so I'm going to pass these out. That's probably enough. And then I guess we need a person to collect. Who will volunteer to be the person to collect all these cards? Thank you very much. So back here, Tessa. Tessa, yes, okay, I forgot, I'm sorry, it's new in the semester. All right, the next thing involves a PowerPoint. So I am not a PC person. Let's see if I can actually do this. Close? All right, so there we are, the cards. Those are the things we'd like you to fill out. But we also want you to follow us. So we have created a Facebook page, a Twitter feed, and an Instagram account. And these are what do we call them? The addresses, the handles. This is what you follow. So feel free to jot these down as well. And I'll come back to that, so don't freak out. Next thing, we will be encouraging you throughout the semester to read some things, to watch some things that are outside of what we do in the classroom. I'm kicking that off today with a list of documentaries. The Jackson 10 Theater, which is the theater that is closest to Jackson Crossing Mall, they sponsor a documentary series every fall. And on Monday nights, starting next week, they feature a different documentary every night, or every Monday night. So at 5 o'clock they show it, and then they show it again at 7:30. And there are some really good documentaries in the series. And I just wanted to highlight a couple of them for you that I thought might be of interest to people in our major. So Life Itself is the documentary about Roger Ebert, directed by the guy who directed Hoop Dreams. Help me, Jen.
Oh, shoot.
Steve, I can't remember, I should have written it down. I think Steve James, it's like 2 first names.
Yeah.
All right, Burt's Buzz is another fun one. I know a lot of you use the Burt's Bees products, and this is the story of a really eccentric man who invented Burt's Bees products. This one may also be of interest, especially to our drama majors. Elaine Strict recently passed away. This is a documentary about her life as a Broadway legend. She's also an actor in 30 Rock. And lastly, this one I thought was really intriguing, 20,000 Days on Earth. It's about the creative process and the creative spirit. And I thought that may be of interest to all of you. Last call today for the SAU volunteer radio training at home.fm and 89.3 The Message. If you are interested in that, you do have to fill out an application. Just to make it easy for you, I printed these off, and there are a couple that you can fill out and then pop down to the radio station at the end of the hall on the 2nd floor, and you can audition to be an on-air volunteer. Unfortunately, you have to do that by noon today if you're interested. And that is the end announcements.
Okay, all right. Thank you. These colleagues, you have any additional announcements before I start?
I do. I just wanted to introduce myself, Paul. I'm Melissa Stradbeck, I'm going to spell my name because I think it can be confusing. But if you see emails from me, my first name is Melissa. My last name is Stradbeck, with a silent T in the middle, so to be tricky. Or you might get an email from me from this. And I can't explain that. You'll have to ask tech services why you would get that. But if you get an email from me, please do read it. I'm not just bugging you for no reason. I generally send out announcements about ComCons, about events that you are either required to attend as a major in the Department of Communication and Media, or events that you are not going to want to miss. Sometimes I'm also sending out announcements through our Blackboard site. If you have not gotten I don't know how it works because I'm not on Blackboard, I'm 40. But if you have not received anything as an announcement from the Blackboard site or don't know what I'm talking about, then please do come see me afterwards because I went through an update and all of you should be getting those announcements. And those announcements are generally about really exciting opportunities for you to do extracurricular things with our department. They're about internship opportunities, or they're about job opportunities, ways for you to make money. So please, please don't miss out on those. The final thing for me would just be, in the last couple of years, our family personally, I have a husband and 3 kids, and we are practicing hospitality as a family. And so if you need to get away from campus, if you need some good food, not that I will cook, my husband's a great cook. If you need to do laundry, if you need to play Call of Duty, anything like that with teenage boys. If you need to do artwork with a 7-year-old girl. If you need to laugh, you are more than welcome to come to our house. It's not going to be clean. It's not going to be perfect, but you are more than welcome. So please don't hesitate to call me or to email me or come see me in the concert. All right, I think that's it.
Me? When we were darling, and my only announcement is to not forget to do homework in the midst of everything else.
I want to say congratulations to the cast of Dracula, which is cast an alumnus, Trevor Tracy. And for those of you who didn't audition or you're not involved in that show, if you're a freshman or a newcomer, auditions are, we're in Desiree.
October 13th and 14th.
October 13th and 14th, and we have some one-acts coming up as well on homecoming weekend. So there's a lot going on in the drama program. What else was I going to say? Oh, if you are interested in performance, also don't forget, Dora just put out a call for her short film class, and she really is serious. I'm really proud of the students who have gotten involved both in those productions and in dramatic productions, and so there's no excuse for you not to be involved in some kind of production. There's lots going on.
How did the talk go last night?
It was rocking. It was fantastic. Brittany's husband was fantastic. Brittany was pleased that I made a Star Wars.
My contention, you guys already know that I'm biased, but I think that we have, my colleagues, we have some great lecturers, presenters, published authors, around. I'm a bit long in the tooth. I can say this with context. These are some great teachers, great teachers. Be blessed by them, pursue them, make sure you're learning from them. Also, by the way, we should introduce the co-presidents of our theater club. Would you like to do that?
Absolutely. And if you are interested in being involved in the drama program, Dory put up the information for the department's Facebook page. There's also a group called the SAU Drama Club, and we want you to join it, and that's the best way to get updates as far as things like auditions and other events. We're going to have some workshops and stuff, and so I would just introduce our co-presidents, and that's Desiree Taylor and Ann Broda, if you two will stand up. Because they're running some of those events, and they are also the two directors of the freshman newcomer shows. So I'm really excited about what they're doing this year.
Both of them excellent leaders, both of them very accessible.
Both of them cool.
Passionate. I would agree, yes, very good. Would you have something to talk about regarding updating on the paper? We're still in the recruiting stage, although they're heavily knee-deep in new wonderful writers.
Sure. Yeah, I know most of you, but I'm Alexandra Harper. I'm editor-in-chief of The Pulse, the student news magazine. And we just did our first introductory meeting, and we had a lot of new people show up and join, which is great. But if any of you are interested, not even in just joining, if you just want to write a guest thing or have some pictures that you happen to take at an event, we would love those because, you know, we have a crew, but it's a small crew, so we're constantly trying to get more. We just, I'm really excited to say, started a business and advertising wing, so we will have ads in the magazine this year. So advertising majors, anything like that, we'd love to get your input and your feedback and your help. And also film students, Jen, I haven't responded to your email yet, but it was funny because I had that talk with my staff before you emailed me. We are redoing, we've had a film aspect before, but we really want to work on specializing and talking to people who are in those fields. So we have someone who is doing a movie review, and she will be contacting one of you to get your expertise and your insight, because we realize that we have, you know, people from different fields doing this, so we want to make sure that we're getting the full insight, because, I mean, I don't know much about movies except for, like, I laugh sometimes, so depending on the technical aspect. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you.
Also, your visual communications and your sort of bends towards graphic design.
Yeah.
Our design, we have a 2-person design team, and they would very much love help.
Really, if you're in this room, we can use you.
By the way, you just heard from the vice president.
Yeah!
Of the body, right? And then her partner in serving the student body, Ben, who you heard in chapel. So how about a hand for
Announcement. Damon Seacott had a friend here on Wednesday, and during chapel, and asked me to come and see the friend, and we were sorry Beth was right in the middle of your talk. Damon called me over to say hi to this guy, and the guy asked if you were our chaplain.
We have, and I think that this is something we want to continue to cultivate, a lot of pastoral hearts. I think at Dewan, one of the pastors of this campus, this is what we're attempting to cultivate. As I've mentioned of our co-presidents of the theater club, pastoral heart, right? And then also, Bethany has been asked to, or been hired to be kind of a research assistant for us this year. She's excellent writer, very accessible interpersonally, but she's doing hours helping with research. Bethany, if you would just stand up and wave, and just, if you're interested in this as an underclassman, talk to me about this. We're very interested, especially people who are thinking of going to graduate school in some area. And I rarely will recommend that people go immediately to graduate school. The reason is because the worst thing for many of you is, even though you might have been successful as undergrads, graduate school will require different, more refined habits academically, habits of the heart. And the best way to prepare, perhaps, is to take a couple of years off and work and address your debt. Okay. Oh no, by the way, we're not afraid to talk about student debt. Know where you're at. This is not mommy and daddy's task. This isn't somebody else's task. This is your task. Figure out, what's my debt load here? And is it at any cost? So know that, but talk to Beth, all right? Okay. Congratulations. Either one of you could be president and the other's vice president. You know that, we know that. Both formidable leaders. Right? There are many people in here, and I love it, that comm majors have said, look, we will be servants of God in serving this student body, and I love them. By the way, if you've gotten to know either of them, you know that they don't make the habit, as Jesus warned leaders, of lording it over. Kiss my decoder if I'm the vice president. These are very accessible, very caring people. They're even coaches. They have pastoral sensibilities. Wow. So, thanks be to God for them. Again, let me just say, welcome to the freshmen. And if you sense that any upperclassman is being mean-spirited and condescending and dismissive of me, I want to know. I'm going to write down the description and I'll come hunting them. It's because we don't want people graduating from here interpersonally, condescendingly stupid. You're going to be a leader. And I think, by the way, the best... I, as you know, some of you, that I kid my colleagues in the business department that the best salespeople are from this department. This department. The sellers of redemptive visions. I want to just read a few things, and then we're going to watch a little video, and then I'm going to give my final admission. Now, some of you have read this and seen this, and I used to give it up in cardstock. It's going to be available in cardstock very soon. And you've heard this, and it sounds like a broken record, but so what? I don't mind sounding like a broken record about central important things. You know, I'm kind of like, oh, here comes Pat. This is what he's going to say. Good. Our delightful Dr. Wally Metz, who's working with a cross-cultural group right now that is preparing to take to India. He composed these several years ago. I remember when I came in the fall of 2002, he was in the midst of construction. And one of the things he wanted to say as a central tenet is that we wanted to build confident communicators. It was one of the more than 5, and I said, confidence. Confidence is always a byproduct of something else. It's never an end in itself. It's like happiness. A stupid thing to say, we're protecting people in their pursuit of happiness. Happiness is always a byproduct of a worthier end, worthier goal, right? Same way with confidence. Well, he was really open to having his colleagues share with him, and this is what was constructed. If you're an upperclassman and you don't know our department's mission by heart, it's about the length of a memory verse, and I only ask, why not? Because one of the challenges is of every day to keep it focused and centered and prioritized as informed by God's revelation and the grace that we're knee-deep in. Is being able to make a central confession about who you are, why you are, where you are, and why faithfulness matters. As it relates to our department, this is what we're saying is central. This is what informs our curriculum, informs what we want to see growing and developing in you, what we're saying we're committed to assessing effectively, so that by the time you're a senior, we can say, you can say, along with student colleagues who are talking about these areas of development, and you're getting better. You're getting better. You're getting better. So, I say after you learn that, then particularly you actors, one of the slivers of civilization that still thinks that anything's worth memorizing. I know, by the way, those of you that don't think that, that portion of your brain, sorry, is atrophy. Sorry, white matter, gray matter. Sorry, we know more about the elasticity of the brain than we did 10 years ago. And guess what? Those weird apostles and the audacity of that Jesus Christ is right. We are what we think so oftentimes. Just as Teresa of Avila said, Catherine of Siena said, our life is what our thoughts make it. What's worth being called central and informative of every other thing. We have 16 dispositions. Are they the scriptures? Of course not. But we think that they fairly represent, and open certainly to sunset provisions, 16 things that kind of hover around our 4 primary values. Do you know them? Can you retrieve them on command so that they're informing your work? They're guiding your paths? For instance, do you know that our 3rd cluster, and it's really one that informs everything else, that we're committed to helping cultivate Christian communicators. The first disposition is simply recognizing that communication is a gift whereby we share in the image of God. If you have to look that up, you don't know it well enough. If you haven't begun to memorize our purpose statement and 16 disposition statements, then you don't understand how serious we are about these things. Now, by the way, what I would recommend, and you have the time, oh yeah, what it's on, you have the time. 1 disposition a week. It's about as long as a half a verse or a shorter verse in the epistles. You have the time. You want to know one of the best ways to order your mind is to memorize what you think is important. Now, ideally, what you want to do is what you think is central, what you think is central, not what some weird white guy's telling you to say. But we're going to give you a hint. From our professional position as artists, scholars, lecturers, communicators, this is important. Okay? You start with the purpose statement. And then after you get that, and you're saying it 3 to 5 times a day to where it becomes trigger ready. Whenever circumstances invite you to redeem it, you can retrieve it. Then you start one disposition at a time. I don't care if you're a senior. You spent, you're working on your 4th year here. You want to be able to take away 5 years from now. What was it that was central about my undergraduate experience in the Common Media Department? This is shorthand. But you should know. Right? And again, I love to talk about this. There are things worth memorizing. Jesus in the wilderness, right? We know who you are. We know you're hungry. I know you're hungry. And why is it that, as you've read in the scripture, Satan and all demons know who he is better than any of the humans? What's that? We know you're hungry. Turn rocks into bread. You have the capacity. Jesus, I wonder what that verse is. Where's my Bible? Oh, shoot, he's got this dumb stuff in it. But I don't. What's he do? Well, you have a Bible. It's here. Right? And he says, boom, on command. Is able to retrieve on command. The circumstances required redemptive, informing truth. He's able to call it on command. Can you do that? I'm not saying in Christ-like levels. You're not trained as a rabbi. St. Peter, Pentecost. And I'm not even Pentecostal. St. Peter at Pentecost has less training than you. Less training than you. Except that he was hanging out with the Savior for 3 years. And what does he do? He gets up extemporaneously on command, and in a 7-minute speech is able to change the world. The part of that outline is he's able to retrieve extemporaneously, without 3x5 cards, without PowerPoint, portions of Psalm 16, portions of Psalm 110, portions of Joel 2. Common Media Department. Yeah, we want you, with technological savvy. But what we want primarily is intellectual, cognitive, heart-drenched wisdom. That's up to you. So what's worth memorizing? What's worth meditating? What's worth retrieving? What's worth saying, this is my confession? That again, helps me to understand who I am, where I am, why I am. Okay. Now, could somebody push the button that gets this video? Who's here? Could you do that? I wanted to talk about being more sensitive. Just about 10 minutes. More sensitive to your nonverbals, particularly to your use of comm technologies when other people are present. I don't care what the stereotype is. Remember, you recognize that communication is a gift whereby you share in the image of God, right?
Try the white sliders, far right. The white sliders, far right. Move those up.
Okay, you got the visual. We'll just.
We're not doing anything. Yeah.
Standard eating takes long. Okay, how about a hand for our people who are trying to help you with volume? The volume didn't matter. You got it. Okay, by the way, this is a great example of redemptive prophetic mockery. Right? And remember, the prophets were powerful mockers. They were very sarcastic, satirical. Okay? Now,
We figured it out.
Not a direct parallel, but oftentimes the same kind of self-justification is faster, it helps us to be more efficient. I'm going to say something about efficiency and its relationship to effectiveness. You might want to get this down. Not going to be tested. Oh, you're not going to be tested. Oh, every day is a test. Who really does? Every day is a test. In fact, you don't believe that? Read the last verse of Ecclesiastes. Every deed, every word, everything. What's the relationship of efficiency to effectiveness? Efficiency always serves effectiveness. It's never an end in and of itself. What will serve, what communication technologies truly serve for greater effectiveness as loving communicators? Let me ask you this. And this is, it's okay, I'm a preacher. But I want our comm majors to think about when they walk across campus, when they make the public decision to non-verbally say, I'd rather not greet you, Beth, because I got an important text. Or this, that it's taking over our time. We say it in the name of relational, efficiency. Is it contributing to relational effectiveness? Okay, here we go. And Jesus Christ could be passing us on the path from here to the library. Anybody, we'll shut up because we're talking. We got an important phone call. It's really important. It's more important than anyone I may encounter three-dimensionally on my walk across campus. Sorry, Joel. I'm busy. Important phone call. Yeah, rare, but suddenly rare becomes common. And it's an insult when it gets too much in front of those that are three-dimensionally present. I hope I don't see comm majors doing that because they're more sensitive about the complexity of human communication and three-dimensional accessibility. Can you tell I care about this? Because I see Blade Runner increasingly becoming our reality. Oh, but it's helping me. I can connect to friends at the insult of those that are strangers that still need to be affirmed as image bearers of God. This is even what's doubly weird. Let's get the earphones on. Okay. Let's look down. Let's be surrounded in our technological cocoons so that the only way something three-dimensional in my path can get my attention is if they have a baseball bat. Are you in that habit? Then get out of that habit. Is it because you're afraid you don't know what to say to somebody who might be crossing your path? Well, your fear is only compounded by your technological cocoon-like decisions. And if you continue like this, one day you're going to get old in that senior citizen home and go, why doesn't anyone say hi? Why are the only human faces that are coming to talk to me are those in that little weird box, giant flat screen that covers the whole wall? It's all Aldous Huxley predicted in Brave New World. Okay, I just press it. You're a comm and media major, so that means you are more sensitive to the potential and the probability of redemptive possibilities around you. Your ears are open. Your eyes are open. I'm thinking of Hebrews. Do not forget to entertain strangers. For in so doing, they have entertained angels without even referring to Abraham and Sarah and the angelic visitors of Genesis chapter 18. How are you walking across campus? Put the technology away. You say, well, I don't know what to think about. I don't know what to do. That then is a serious crisis. You don't have something central to confess between here and the library, here and the dining commons. You're afraid it might just be blur. You don't know how to assert something central and worth confessing and retrieving from your memory bank. Then you don't understand that your challenge is to redeem the time and to redeem the mind, to redeem your words, to be affirming that which is gracious, good, and godly. Okay, all I'm asking is that this year we're more sensitive to what it means as a call of God to be great communicators, verbally and non-verbally. And as some of you have heard me say before, I recommend 5 times a day, get in this habit, it can become a habit of the heart, 5 times a day, you say to yourself randomly, am I representing what God is like to the rest of his earthly creation in this moment now? And what we have to fight, because it's in the name of communication efficiency, is, in quotes, multitasking so much to the point where we are walking with our technological cocoon, insensitive to those that are around us. Again, the phone wasn't, we aren't made for the communication technologies. Communication technologies were made for us. They are our servants, not our masters. And you've got to reassert mastery almost every day, because they're so good at keeping you stimulated. Okay? So, if you need to, if you want to sort through the first step is writing about this in your journal. Finding out more about your own patterns. What was I automatically doing as I had to walk across by myself campus? Did I get out my phone because there's nothing better to do? I'm a little afraid of the nakedness, shall we say. And maybe the shame associated with not even knowing how to greet another face that I don't know. I don't know what to think about. Okay? Does that make sense? Because, by the way, the feeding troughs, as silly as that looks, you need to understand, just 20 years ago, watching people doing this, in public places, when there's loved ones across the booth from where they sit, we would have laughed just as hard, but we ain't laughing anymore because that's us. Or is it us? It doesn't have to be. Okay? Understand, when is your private time that you can devote yourself to phone conversations? When is the best time to text? Don't worry. Anyone who says, if you don't automatically respond, you're out. What kind of addictive social interpersonal manipulation is that? So, that's all. You're common media majors. You're that much more sensitive about communication effectiveness and not allowing yourself to be manipulated by and slaves to communication technologies. So the prayer will be dismissed. Father, thank you. Help us look to you as author and finisher of our faith, a giver of every good and perfect gift, including every communication technology, including ability to speak and write and hear, listen. Redeem us by your presence, power, and provision. Bless these students and my colleagues in a wonderful, wonderful way. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. Okay.